So good afternoon, grade 5.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay, before we start our class, let's take a look first at our virtual classroom rules. First, always keep your camera on so that I will be able to see your handsome and gorgeous faces. Second, keep your microphone off unless it is your turn to speak. Third, use the raise hand button in the screen if you want to answer. Fourth, show me your thumbs up sign if you understand what the teacher is saying. Fifth, be respectful. And lastly, enjoy. May I also introduce myself? I am Teacher Khyte, your teacher for today's lesson. So to formally start our class, we will start it through a prayer. Kindly lead the prayer. Zay.
In the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here. Ever this day be at my side to light and guard, to rule and guide. Amen. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you so much, Zay. So last meeting, we talked about subtraction of dissimilar fraction. I have prepared some equation and let's try to solve it. Kindly bring out your whiteboard and your marker.
Ma'am, okay lang papel, ma'am.
Sige lang anak, okay lang.
Okay, ma'am.
Are you ready? Show me your thumbs up sign if you're ready. Okay. The first equation is 1/2 minus 1/4. You have 2 minutes to answer the equation. Are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Show to your screen your answers. Let's see if your answers are correct. So our equation is 1/2 minus 1/4 is equals to n. So in subtracting similar fraction, the first step that we need to do is get the LCD of the denominator through their common multiples. So the LCD or the multiples of 2 are 2, 4, and so on. The multiples of 4 is 4, 8, and so on. So as we can see, the common multiples of 2 and 4 are 4, which means the least common denominator of 2 and 4 is 4. So let's compute it. 1/2 minus 1/4. Let's make their denominators the same. So our LCD is 4. So 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2 times 1 is equals to 2. The next one, 4 divided by 4 is equals to 1. 1 times 1 is equals to 1. So let's rewrite our equation and it will look like this. 2/4 or 1/4 is equals to 1/4. Did you get the same answer, class? Raise your hand if you get the correct answer. Very good. Let's take a look at the second equation. 3/4 minus 2/7 is equals to n. And you have 2 minutes to answer that. Mali. Dito ito mali. Are you done, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Show to the screen your answer. Let's see if your answers are correct. Let's try to solve it. Our equation is 3/4 minus 2/7. So the first thing that we're gonna do is get the LCD of the denominator through their common multiples. So the multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. And the multiples of 7 are 7, 14, 21, and 28. As we can see, the common multiples of 4 and 7 is 28, which means the LCD or the least common denominator of 4 and 7 is 28. So let's solve it. So our equation is 3/4 minus 2/7. Let's put our denominator, which is 28. So let's solve it. 28 divided by 4 is equals to 7 times 3 is equals to 21. 28 divided by 7 is equals to 4 times 2 is equals to 8. So if you write our equation, it will look like this. 21/28 minus 8/28 is equals to 13/28. Who got the correct answer? Raise your hands. Very good. Now, before we go to our lesson for today, we will play the Arrange Me. I will present to you some jumbled letters and let's try to form words. Kindly read the clue. Kim?
Clue. The process of skill of multiplying.
What do you think is the word to be formed through the jumbled letters with the help of our clue? Yesha?
Multiplication, ma'am.
Let's see if your answer is correct. That's right. Multiplication. The process of skill of multiplying is multiplication. Let's take a look at our next jumbled letters. And we have a clue. Kindly read the clue. Jamila?
It consists of numerator and denominator.
That's right.
Fraction, ma'am.
Very good. It is a fraction. Based on the words that we formed, what do you think is our lesson for today? Anyone? James?
Multiplication of fractions, ma'am.
Let's see. You're right. Our lesson for today is about multiplication of fraction. What is our lesson for today? Anyone?
Multiplication of fraction.
Fraction, ma'am.
Very good. Now, let's take a look at this word problem. Kindly read. Ezra.
In Miss Mendoza's class, one half of the pupils are girls. 1/3 of those girls brought packed lunch from home today. What fraction of the girls brought lunch from home today?
Thank you. What problem is being asked? Would you mind to share? Anyone? Kim?
What fraction of the girls brought lunch from home today?
That's right. What are the given? Would you mind to share? Eve?
One half and one third, ma'am.
Correct. The given are 1/2 and 1/3. What operation should we use? Anyone? Charles?
Multiplication, ma'am.
You're correct. The operation to be used is multiplication. But first, we will multiply using a model. So the given is 1/2 times 1/3 is equals to n. Let's take a look at this part. This is where we show 1/2. And for this part, this is where the 1/3. So if we combine it together, we will get the answer 1/4 of 6. As you can see, there is one colored part and the others are not. So it will be 1/6. So 1/2 multiplied by 1/3 is equals to 1/6. Let's take a look at the next example. Our next equation is 1/3 multiplied by 2/5. So if we take a look at our model, in this part, we will show the parts of 1/3. And on this part is the parts of 2/5. And if we combine it together, we will form 2 parts of 15. If you can see in the model, there are 2 parts which are here the color green, which are the shaded part out of 15. So 1/3 multiplied by 2/5 is equals to 2/15. Did you understand, class? Kindly raise your thumbs up sign. Good. So 1/3 multiplied by 2/5 is equals to 2/15. Let's try to look in multiplying fraction by both numerator and denominator. Kindly read our first equation. Anyone? Fatima?
One half times 1/3, ma'am.
Okay, our equation is 1/2 times 1/3. So the next thing that we will do is to combine both the numerator and the denominator. So it will look like this. 1 times 1 over 2 times 3 is equals to n. As you can see, the numerators and the denominators are now combined. And 1 times 1 is equals to, anyone?
1.
1. And 2 times 3 is equals to
6,
6, ma'am. 6, ma'am.
very good. So if we multiply 1/2 to 1/3, it is equals to 1/6. Let's take a look at the next example. Kindly read the next equation. Zay?
1/3 times 3/5.
Yes, our next equation is 1/3 multiplied by 3/5. So the next thing that we should do is to combine the numerator and the denominator. So it will look like this. 1 times 3 over 3 times 5 is equals to n. So 1 times 3 is equals to Charles?
3, ma'am.
3. And 3 times 5 is equals to, Jaden?
15, ma'am.
15. So, 1/3 times 3/5 is equals to, Zay?
315, ma'am.
Very good. Did you understand, class? Raise your hands if yes. Good. So, since our answer is 315, let's simplify it. By simplifying, we should find the greatest common factor. So the multiples of 3 is equals to 1 and 3. And the multiples of 15 is 3 and 5. So as we can see, the greatest common factor of 3 and 15 is 3. That is why we will divide 3 from 315. So 3 divided by 3 and 15 divided by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is equals to anyone?
1, ma'am.
And 15 divided by 3 is equals to
5, ma'am.
5, ma'am.
5, ma'am.
You're right. It's 5. So if we simplify our answer 315, it will become 1/5. Now let's take a look on multiplying fraction using the cancellation method. There are steps in multiplying cancellation method. Kindly read the first step. Anyone? Shania?
See if any numerator and any denominator can be divided by the same number.
So let's take a look at our equation. Kindly read our equation. Ezra?
1/3 times 3/5 equals 10.
Correct. So is there any numbers that are the same, that can be divided by the same number? If yes, what number it is? Yesha?
3, ma'am.
3. You're right. Kindly read the next step. Alexi?
Cancel numbers by dividing them by same number. Replace the cancelled number with the quotients.
You're right. Since we find that 3 are the same numerator and denominator and can be divided by the same number, we will cancel 3. So 3 divided by 3 is equals to 1. Tell them and we will write 1. Our equation will look like this. 1/1 times 1/5. Kindly read the third step. Toby?
Multiply as usual. Multiply both the numerators and the denominators.
Right. So since our new equation is 1/1 times 1/5, we will write it like this. 1 times 1 over 1 times 5. Or we will just combine the numerators and the denominators. So 1 times 1 is equals to 1 and 1 times 5 is equals to 1/5. So 1/1 times 1/5 is equals to 1/5. So let's try the following equation. 2/6 times 3/5 is equals to n. You have 2 minutes to answer that. Wait. Are you done, class? Raise your hand if you're done. Okay, let's try to solve it. And let's see if your answers are correct. So our equation is 2/6 multiplied by 3/5. So the first thing that we're gonna do is to combine the numerator and the denominator. So it will look like this. 2 times 3 over 6 times 5 is equals to n. So 2 times 3 is equals to anyone?
6.
6. And 6 times 5 is equals to
30,
Cherry,
ma'am. 30, ma'am.
30. We can make it into its simplest form. So if we'll transform it into its simplest form, our answer will be 1/5. Who got the correct answer? Raise your hands. Very good. Now let's take a look at the next equation and let's try to answer it. And you have 2 minutes to answer. 1/4 times 4/5 is equals to n.
Ma'am, nakamute ka.
Nakamute ka, ma'am.
Are you done, class? Raise your hands if you're done. Okay, let's try to solve the equation. But first, post your answers in your cameras and let's see if your answers are correct. Okay. 1/4 times 4/5 is equals to n. Since we have a numerator and denominator that are the same number, we can divide it to itself, and which is 4. So let's cancel 4, and it will become 1, and 4 divided by 4, and it will become 1. So if we rewrite our equation, it will look like this. 1/1 times 1/5 is equals to n. And the next thing that we should do is to combine the numerator and the denominator. So it will look like this. 1 times 1 over 1 times 5. So 1 times 1 is equals to 1 and 1 times 5 is equals to 5. Who got the correct answer? Raise your hands. Good job. Now, let's take a look at this. Multiplying fraction with whole number. There are steps in multiplying a fraction and a whole number. Kindly read the first step. Let's see, Shania.
Rename the whole number by dividing it by 1.
That's right. So if we take a look at our equation, it is 1/8 times 7. So our whole number is 7. So we will divide it by 1 and it will look like this. So our equation will be right as 1/8 over 7 over 1 is equals to n. What is our second step? Kindly read. Gian. Gian, anak, are you there? Okay, kindly help Gian. Fatima.
You multiply it as usually, ma'am.
Thank you. Yes, since the whole number is now a fraction, we will just multiply it as usual, which is we combine the numerators and the denominators. So it will look like this. 1 times 7 over 8 times 1 is equals to n. So 1 times 7 is equals to anyone?
7, ma'am.
7 and 8 times 1 is equals to
8, ma'am.
so 1/8 times 7 over 1 is equals to 7/8. Did you understand, class? Raise your hand if you understand. Very good. Now let's take a look at our next lesson, which is multiply. Remember, what should be in multiplying 3 or more fraction? Kindly read. Let's try some. Makaila, kindly read.
In multiplying 3 or more fractions should be multiplied the usual. By multiplying all the numerators, then multiply all of the denominators, we may group the numbers to make the multiplication easier.
Thank you. That's right. In multiplying three or more fraction, it's just like the same, which is what we're doing. We're grouping the numerators and the denominators. So kindly read our equation. Let's see. Joseph. Joseph, are you there? Na?
1/5 times 2/3 times 1/3 equals n.
That's right. If you'll notice, we have three fractions multiplied together. So the next thing that we will do is to group them. So it will become 1 times 2 times 1 over 5 times 3 times 3 is equals to n. So let's solve it. 1 times 2 times 1 is equals to anyone? 2. And 5 times 3 times 3 is equals to Fatima?
45, ma'am.
45. Very good. So 1/5 times 2/3 times 1/3 is equals to 2 over 45 or 2/45. Then let's try to look the next one. Let's try to answer the following equation. Did you understand our lesson, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's try to solve the following equation. For number 1, multiply the equation using a model. And you have 2 minutes to answer that. You may now start. Are you done, class? Raise your hands if you're done. Okay, show your answers to your screen. Let's see if your answers are correct. So our equation is 1/5 times 2/4 is equals to n. Let's take a look at this part. In this part, we will show the fraction or the model of 1/5. So there is one shaded part out of 5. On this part, we will see or we will show the parts of 2/4 or 2 parts of 4. So if we combine it together, this is our model. And if we multiply 1/5 to so forth, it will become 2/20 or 2 parts of 20. Who got the correct answer? Raise your hands. Good job. Let's take a look at our next equation. But on number 2, just multiply both their numerator and denominator. So 1/2 times 3/6 is equals to n. And you have 2 minutes to answer that. Are you done, class? Raise your hands if you're done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, show to the screen your answers. Let's see if your answers are correct. So our equation is 1/2 multiplied by 3/6 is equals to n. So 1 times 3 over 2 times 6 is equals to n. So 1 times 3 is equals to 3. 2 times 6 is equals to, it should be 12, I'm sorry.
12, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it should be 12. So 3, 12, or 1/4. Who got the correct answer? It should be 1/4, I'm sorry. Very good. Now, let's take a look at the next equation. For number 3, multiplying 3 or more fractions. And you have 2 minutes to do that. You may now start.
Mga pa na lang mga ladanog ko.
Sige lang, anak. Okay, are you done, class? Kindly raise your hands. Okay. Show to the screen your answers. Let's see if your answers are correct. So our equation is 3/4 times 2/3 times 1/4. So we will rewrite it as 3 times 2 times 1 over 4 times 3 times 4 is equals to n. So 3 times 2 times 1 is equals to 6, and 4 times 3 times 4 is equals to 48. So our answer is 6 over 48. But we can simplify our answer, and our final answer in simplest form is 1/8. Who got the correct answer? Raise your hands. Good job. Now, let's take a look at our next equation. For number 4, it is multiplying a fraction and a whole number. And you have 2 minutes to answer that. You may now start. Are you done, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Put your answers on your camera. Kindly put your answers on your camera, on your screen. Okay, let's see if your answers are correct. So our equation is 3/9 times 2. The first thing that we will do is to divide our whole number by 1. So the 2 will look like this. 2 over 1. Our equation will be, if we write our equation, it will look like this. 3/9 times 2 over 1 is equals to n. So, the next thing that we will do is to combine our numerators and denominators. So, it will look like 3 times 2 over 9 times 1. So, 3 times 2 is equals to, anyone?
6, ma'am. 6, ma'am.
3 times 2 is equals to 6. 9 times 1 is equals to
9, Mom.
9. So our answer is 6, 9. But we can make it simplest form. Okay?
2,
2. Very good. Who got the correct answer? Raise your hands. Very good. Now let's take a look at our last equation. So for number 5, it is multiplying a fraction using the cancellation method. So our equation is 2/5 times 5/8 is equals to n. You have 2 minutes to answer that. Okay. Are you done, class? Raise your hands. Okay. What's your answer? Post it on your screen. Show it to your screen your answers. Okay. Let's see if your answers are correct. So our equation is 2/5 multiplied by 5/8. As you can see, there are numerators and denominators that are the same. So we can divide it on their own number. So it is number 5. So we will cancel 5 divided by 5. It will be equals to 1. And also 5 divided by 5 is equals to 1. So we will rewrite our equation and it will look like this. So 2 over 1 times 1/8 is equals to n. So we will combine the numerators and the denominators. So 2 times 1 over 1 times 8. So 2 times 1 is equals to, anyone?
2, Mom.
2. And 1 times 8 is equals to
8, Mom.
8. So our answer is 8, but we can make it on its simplest form,
1,
which
4, Mom.
will be, you're
1,
right,
Mom.
1/4. Who got the correct answer? Raise your hands. Very good. You are doing great. So there are ways to multiply a fraction. First is multiply using a model. Second, by multiplying just both the numerator and both the denominator. And third is multiplying using the cancellation method. And of course, don't forget to always simplify your answer if possible. And since you already mastered multiplying fraction, let's take a look at your activity. So, for your activity, you will answer the let's practice and let's practice more in your Math Maze Book 5, page 84 to 85. Please take note that you should show your solutions. This will be your activity. You can find it on your books. And for your assignment, answer the take-home on your Math Maze Book 5, page 85, and also show your solutions. Is there any questions, class?
Ma'am,
And of course, remember, take a photo.
Iwanin, ma'am. Ma'am,
Okay.
ipopost mo po ba sa group page po namin?
Anak, I'll be posting it on our FB group. And remember to take a photo of your work and pass it until January 25, 2022 via Messenger. Search for my name, Khyte Lasupaa.
Ma'am, di account po pag-sendan mi, ma'am.
Anak?
Di messenger mi pag-sendan mi, ma'am.
Yes, anak.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Are there any questions?
None, ma'am.
Okay, if none, thank you for listening.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.